Someone to join. Alrighty, we will get started. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our WACAC College Exploration webinars. We are going to be giving a presentation today where you will have the chat available to you. So you are going to be able to open up the Q&A and leave any questions that you have for our panelists today. If after today you do have any additional questions, we definitely recommend reaching out to the university and college who is presenting. There will be a quick survey window that will pop up after today's session, and we always will advise and recommend as well, if you are interested, to sign up for more sessions at wacac.com. And after these events, the recordings will also be available at wacac.com. With that, I am going to let our panelists take it away for their presentation.
Great, thank you. Just pull up my presentation here. All right, can my panelists give a thumbs up if they can see the presentation? Awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Sam Paulette, and I am the Vice President for Enrollment Management here at Lakeland University. And with me tonight, I've got 3 of our students that currently attend Lakeland. And I'm going to have them tell a little bit more about themselves before we get started. So, Robert, would you start us off?
Yeah, I can start off. So I'm Robert Zhang. I'm a junior here at Lakeland University, and I'm a sports management and leadership major here. Then I'm also involved with the esports team and also part of the Hmong Student Association here.
Great. Sydney.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sydney. I am a junior here as well. I'm a marketing major. I'm from Kenosha, Wisconsin, and I am involved in the co-op program as well. And then I'm also on the volleyball team as well.
Great. And Elijah.
What's up, everybody? I'm a junior here as well. I also am part of the co-op program. I used to play football here. I'm also looking to start joining esports soon. I'm part of one of the fraternities here on campus called Beta Sigma Omega, and it's nice to meet you all.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. So throughout the presentation, please feel free to ask questions. We're here to answer your questions. So as they come up, please put them in the Q&A chat, and we'll answer them live. We'll answer them at the end. However it works, we'll be here. We've got 3 students here that are in a bunch of different academic programs and involvement across campus. So I'd really like you to get your money's worth tonight and make sure to be asking a lot of questions, especially from our students participating tonight as well. So with that, again, my name is Sam, and I'm here to welcome you to learn a little bit more about Lakeland. We're really excited that you're spending this part of your evening with us on the first day of September. So a little bit about Lakeland. We're located in technically Plymouth, Wisconsin, but we're really close to Sheboygan, Wisconsin, a city of about 50,000 people, midpoint between Milwaukee and Green Bay. And we've got a beautiful little campus here situated right between Plymouth and Sheboygan. It's a little bit rurally located, but we're certainly really close to a lot of amenities in Sheboygan and Plymouth and all over the place. World-class golf courses, resorts, and a beautiful city right by the lakeshore in Sheboygan. So at Lakeland, athletics is very big. Our experiential learning and our commitment to cooperative education. You guys heard a little bit about our students joining us tonight are in co-op, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to give you a good taste of academic majors we offer, just the campus experience in general, what it's like in the classrooms, what it's like to be involved on campus, what it's like to earn quite a bit of money and work experience being a co-op student and leaving your college experience within 4 years with a wealth of professional work experience that really sets our graduates apart when it comes to gaining jobs during and after college as well. So with that, talk a little bit more about our campus here. Like I said, we've got about 750 students here on our traditional main campus. Now, Lakeland is a little bit bigger than our traditional main campus. We have If you're living in different parts of the state, you might have seen Lakeland University in different areas like Milwaukee, Green Bay, Madison, Appleton, and everywhere else. We've got our adult education or our Kellett school centers across the state. And we also are one of 2 American schools to have a campus in Tokyo, Japan. And so we've got about 500 students there, and that is now a 4-year university in Japan. So I've had some students that either transfer from Japan after a couple of years or do a semester abroad, whether they're a domestic student here. And so it's a really unique opportunity too. So overall, we've got about 3,000 students in general, but on the traditional main campus that we're talking about tonight, we've got about 750 students. We're mainly residential, and so that leads to a really nice campus experience. We're kind of our own little town here in the middle of a couple cornfields. And like I said, we're only about a 5-10 minute drive away from Sheboygan, the lakeshore, and a lot of excitement there, as well as only an hour between Green Bay and Milwaukee, respectively as well. So we've got about 240 acres of our campus. That doesn't mean you're walking across 240 acres of campus. It only takes about 5-10 minutes to get from your residence hall to the academic buildings or to our campus center that was newly renovated 2 years ago. And we'll talk a bit more about that too. And so with that, I guess I'll start with some questions for our other panelists or students here. Sydney, if you could lead us off by explaining just a little bit more where you came from and just your experience on campus, how you've been able to transition from a city like Kenosha onto maybe a little bit more rural of a situation. And if Robert and Elijah could follow up with that too, it'd be great.
Thank you, Sam. So like I said, I'm from Kenosha. So from Lakeland, it's only an hour-and-a-half drive. So that was a big factor for me. I wanted to be close to home, but still far enough away where I felt independent. And yeah, it's in kind of, you would say, the middle of nowhere, but a lot of cornfield, but it is, like Sam said, 5-10 minutes away. So where I'm from in Kenosha, it's 5-10 minutes away, and all you see is like stores and all kinds of stuff. So it was a big adjustment, getting over the fact that I did have to drive, that long 10-minute drive of seeing nothing to see a Walmart, but now it's kind of like a peaceful drive, so I do like it. A lot of people are hearing everything that's going on in Kenosha, so it feels good to be in a safe place right now, and I do appreciate that I do have this place to go to during times like this. But yeah, for the beginning with the transition, it feels like a normal college, a normal school. I know we say we're a smaller campus, but I still don't know people on this campus, and I see them every day. I know their faces. I may not know them personally, but it still feels like a new experience every day for me. So if anybody wants to follow on for that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely again, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, so adjusting to a smaller campus or like a different small college is from like a big city to small. It's definitely challenging, but I think the best part about it is what Cindy kind of said, but you really do get to know like most people here. Like you do know their faces, you do get to see them a lot. You may not know them by their name, but usually they say hi to each other, or they usually wave hi. You know what I mean? So it is a great transition. Definitely coming from a big city, but I love it because I honestly like Lake Michigan is only about like 10-15 minutes away. So just going over there, it's like from now, like Cindy said, it's just like a smooth drive there. Like it's just kind of just like it's actually nice to have the countryside, just to see everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Robert Anthony. I'm from Milwaukee as well, so I'm definitely, when I first got here back in 2018, was not used to this farmland and being in the middle of nowhere type of life. But now that I've been out here for 3 years, which doesn't even feel like it, I definitely fell in love with the campus, and taking that 20-minute drive to Walmart or 15 minutes to McDonald's or whatever it is. But it was a big adjustment at first. I was the type of person that like to walk out my house and be able to walk down the street to a gas station, grab my snacks, and come back. So like everyone else said, it was a big adjustment, but I wouldn't trade being out here for anything in the world.
Could one of you guys talk about, us being, we are a little bit, we're not in a town or in a city. It does take us 10 minutes to get into town, but I think what our campus tries to do really well is to provide a lot of the amenities, that a small town or a small city would provide. So could you guys talk a little bit more about perhaps the campus center or, some things, your experience on campus with, being able to find food at most hours of the day, night, entertainment, those kinds of things?
I can kind of start on the food part. So, and for the first year, usually freshmen are in like the normal dorm, so it's a communal. You don't really, I mean, you have a kitchen to share, but my freshman year, I didn't take advantage of the kitchen. So pretty much I depended off Lakeland to feed me, and I went just fine. So pretty much they offer like your breakfast, lunch, and dinner at reasonable times. Sometimes as an athlete, like the dining service hours can interfere with like practice schedule, but Lakeland does offer other meal services when the normal buffet line is closed. They have like, it's called our grill. So they offer like sandwiches, burgers, pizzas, all that. And they're open till like 9 or 10 or even 11 on some nights. So those are always there for us. And sometimes I'm really lazy, so I don't want to drive at 8 p.m. because I don't want to drive those 10 minutes. So the grill is right there for us always. And then we have our Muskie Mart in the campus center. So this is all in one big building, like Sam mentioned before, the newly renovated center. So when me, Robert, and Elijah were all freshmen, this was like brand new to us. So it's still pretty cool and new for us. But yeah, we have like our own little gas station, I would say, but it's a small little room. I know that they plan to like renovate that and make it bigger and cooler, but yeah, that's always nice because it's like a little store. You have your milk, cereal, all that, and you can like jump in between classes. The hours are pretty cool too. So yeah, and it's all on your Lakeland ID account, so you really don't have to spend any money while you eat on campus either, because you already technically pay for it. But yeah, so that's my food side.
Yeah, so then I could talk from the campus life perspective, especially being a residence life assistant here for Kruger Hall. One of our halls located near Nash. But yeah, so what we normally do as a residence life staff or as a campus life staff, we usually try to bring the event to you guys rather than you guys going out there sometimes, So things we do like a Halloween party. What we're thinking about doing this year is like a slip and slide for the freshmen this year. So I know this is going to be a program for next year too, and even for the summer if you do plan over the summer. But we want to bring everything to you guys rather than going out and just trying to find something to do, which is good. I think it's good to do something outside the campus, but as a campus life team, we always try to do that for you guys. And other programs that we did do that was pretty much successful was what I did was we created like this little bracelet, like this beads kind of program, and we traded it off to everybody in the residence life hall. So people got to do that. Then that usually got you new friends. Yeah, so that's what we do as a campus life perspective.
I'll speak, I guess, as like an inside student and an upperclassman. Greek life on campus usually does a lot. There's usually a lot to do with Greek life. There's always community events, donation events. There's Rush Week where all the Greek life is out and about, opening their doors so you can come see something new. And like Robert was saying, the Res Life's always got something going on, movie nights. Outside on the yard, there's a big old television they blow up that we can see, and you just park your car over there and watch it. There's always something in the campus center going on. So campus alone, you really don't have to leave campus if you don't want to, but our bubble usually has something always going on for students, and each dorm room always makes friends, and you'll find something new going on inside your own dorm room if all you do is step outside your door.
Excellent, thanks guys. Just a couple more things to add. Because we are rurally located and parking and space is not a premium. There's a lot of things that we're talking about here that aren't additional cost to students. So whether it's parking your car or whether it's printing, whether it's laundry machines, all those kinds of amenities. Students don't pay extra for those. That's all. You're paying for experience, but there aren't a lot of nickel and diming of any sort at Lakeland, because we provide all those things for our students, as well as a full-time shuttle service as well. And so we'll get into that a little bit more with co-op and cooperative education, but it's really nice to know that you don't need a car to attend Lakeland. You don't need a car to get your 12 to 18 months of professional work experience that's off campus, tied to your major. In order to get that, you don't need to have a car. We've got a shuttle service that literally runs 24 hours a day, because we have students all over the board working in a lot of different areas. And we've also become a 12-month campus in the past few years as well. So we have a lot of students, up to about a third of our students this last, not this summer, it was a little bit weird summer as everyone knows, but in previous summers, about 200, 300 students that have stayed on campus. And so that number continues to grow as we're offering more and more programming 12 months a year, not just having shuttle service, not just having students live in our dining or in our residence halls and eat in our dining halls, but we've become a 12-month university because of cooperative education as well. So to move on to our academic experience, everyone can still see the presentation? Yep, excellent. So a little bit more about Lakeland. We have been around since 1862. We were established here by German settlers looking for a place to practice religion freely of how they wanted to. We are affiliated with a liberal denomination of Christianity called United Church of Christ. We have a small chapel here on campus. No, we don't have any requirements to be affiliated as a student. We don't have requirements to attend chapel or anything like that, or even take a religion course if you don't want to. But we certainly have those great opportunities for our students, and so it's really nice as well there. So a little bit more about Lakeland. In the past 4 years, we have become the only school in the upper Midwest to fully offer a comprehensive cooperative education program. And what that really means is that we'll dive into co-op in the next slide, but no matter what a student's major is, no matter what their academic program of study, whether it's a major and 2 minors or a major and an emphasis and a minor, cooperative education, or the ability to earn 12 to 18 months of professional work experience that's tied to the skills or tied to the experiences that you want for your major or career path, we deliver to you. And that means that students are leaving here in 4 years with 1 whole year of credits being in professional work experiences. So students are outside of the classroom about 25% of their time here at Lakeland, earning money, earning credit at the same time. And over those 4 years, again, 12 to 18 months of those 4 years are going to be working, whether it's, part-time, whether it's 20 hours a week or perhaps 40 hours a week. So some students are taking entire semesters where they're not technically in class, but they're actually working in their industry, whether it's tax season, they're accountants, or whether they're working for a company helping them with their IT services or computer software programming if they're a computer science student. Or if they're a sports management major and it's minor league baseball season and they're working for a minor league sports team, or for the Milwaukee Brewers. We've had students working for the Milwaukee Bucks as well in the past 2 years. So we've got a lot of opportunities for our students that are really centered around this idea of experiential education. We know that we can provide a great education in the classroom, but there's so much more that students can learn from outside the classroom. And this idea of experiential education being cyclical, right, you learn something, a theory, a concept in class, you go out and you practice it, and you learn something else and you bring it back to class. And so this whole cycle, every single year, every single semester, students are drawing upon that to then mold that experiential education in with our traditional liberal arts college that we've always been. As well. So we have well over 30 majors. We have a lot of new academic majors as well, one being food safety and quality, management information systems, and a few others. We've got very popular majors that I've listed below as well. And to give you a little peek into our classrooms, we have got a very small student to faculty ratio, 15 to 1. Many of our faculty are terminally degreed and have experience also working in their fields as well. So we have a really good mix of that, which really fits with our academic model of experiential education. Our average class is 15. I think our largest class our largest classroom is a little bit under 50 students. You know, we don't have very many classes over 30, 35 students. Majority of the classes are around that 15 number. So it really leads to students having a great experience, a great relationship with their faculty members. Faculty members that choose to build their careers here at Lakeland do so because they want to build relationships with students. They want to teach. They're very good at teaching. They're here because they love this institution and the students, and they're here for the students. So I guess if you guys could take a moment, my panelists here, my fellow Lakeland students, to maybe talk about maybe one of your favorite experiences or more impactful experiences you've had with a faculty member, or maybe a classroom experience to share with our audience just a little bit more about that.
I can start again. I've met a lot of professors that have really helped me on my journey through academics at Lakeland. I've had a really high GPA, which in high school I was pretty decent, but I've been really excelling here in school. I'm not a good math person, so I remember I was super nervous to take probability and stats here because it's an upper class, and I was super nervous and I was not good at math, and I did not do that well in stats in high school. But I had the most accepting professor. He just really wanted us to understand it and want to be able to learn and all that. And I could reach out to him anytime, any day. He offered his personal cell phone number if we had questions on homework assignments, because they would be due like certain nights of the week. Most of my professors have been always open arms with whatever we've ever anything we've needed at all. Another experience, so I was major hopping. So I started at accounting and I transitioned to business, and now I'm at marketing. Luckily, I have a really great advisor. Her name is Kim, and she was able to like catch me in my process of major hopping and make sure she got me on the right track, offered to be my academic advisor, and now we're working together to get my internship credits and get my co-op all in line and everything. So yeah, they really just want the best for you and just want you to have the best experience by the time you graduate. I really haven't had a professor that I haven't liked here. I would say most of them are some of my best friends too. I have them all on Facebook, so that shows you have a good status if your friends on Facebook. So yeah, I'm gonna let Robert go next. So.
Yeah, I mean, most of the professors are like Sydney said everything perfectly. They know you by your name. I mean, like usually when I go, my professor, April Arpin, the athletic director here, she usually say like, "Hey, Robert, how are you?" Or even different classes that I have with different people, they usually just call you by your name. You're more than a number here. That's for sure. Your student ID doesn't really matter, but your presence there like really does matter to the faculty members and professors. So yeah, but I don't know what else to say. I mean, Cindy said everything perfectly. Like everything she said was perfect. But I guess I can talk about my sports management and leadership co-op that I'm hoping to get next year. So I'm hoping to become like a esports coach, or like help run the esports arena kind of. So hoping to start that next year. I think the best part about this whole program, the co-op program, is that you get paid for what you love to do, and then you get credits for it too. So it's overall like a great thing. I think work experience is more important than, but trust me, I think academics is very important too, but I think your work experience and building up your resume is more important to you having a job after college and stuff like that. So yeah.
Anything to add, Elijah?
Yeah, I was gonna say I definitely love the way teachers act out here and how they know you by your first name. Like Sydney said, I got a majority of every teacher that I've took on Facebook, or they have my number. I still have teachers that call me and make sure I'm actually doing homework, and I don't even have a class anymore. Like Coach A, she'll call me and be like, "Did you do that homework for core 2?" Or make sure I double check the paper or anything like that. I just love how teachers actually know me by name and they're not afraid to reach out or just make sure you're still being a good student just because of one small, simple impact you left on them in a class. And like Robert was saying for co-op, I'm doing my co-op experience now, and I love it. It's giving me all the work experience. I'm building up my resume. It's making me learn in and outside the classroom, and I'm making money on top of it. So I definitely love the co-op experience and the teachers out here.
Great. That's a great segue for our next slide here. Our co-op slide. So you see that a gentleman in the bottom of our screen here, that's Dr. Black. He's our president. He's the president here in the 90s for almost a decade, and then became president at a school out east in Philadelphia. He didn't do a great job at retirement after that school in Philadelphia, and so he graciously came back and accepted the office of president again. He's been here for coming up on 4 years now, and he brought this idea that it's not a new idea necessarily. Schools out east like Drexel University, Northeastern in Boston, University of Cincinnati, many engineering schools across the country have had cooperative education for many years. Many times students go for a semester in class, and the next semester they are working in a professional work experience tied to their major. And those experiences are paid, credit bearing. Their skills that they're building are attributable to, or they contribute to where they want to go, whether it's career path or academic path. And he said, why can't we do that with a small private liberal arts college in Wisconsin? No one else is doing it, and it's a phenomenal way for students to, solve a lot of the problems that are facing many schools, not just small private schools, but big schools as well. And that's this increasing costs for higher education, student debt, the ability to graduate in 4 years, and be prepared for the workforce as well after graduating. And so what co-op does is it helps students pay for school. It helps students build a really strong resume and the skill sets to move up into different organizations or move around different organizations, try out different industries. We have students that come in as accounting majors. They don't like their accounting co-op. So what do? They try something else, and they go do marketing. They go do communication. They go do something else that might be closer to what they want to do. Or they try out teaching, education. Go, oh, well, I thought it was going to be a little bit different, and maybe they'll switch maybe from a elementary school education certification to maybe high school, and that experience really helped them while they're in school transition quicker, in their sophomore year rather than their senior year. They've got that experience to make to verify and confirm perhaps what they want their, at least first part of their career to be like or to be in terms of an industry. So co-op, as I've said before, it really integrates, again, 12 to 18 months of professional work experience in students related to the student's major. Many students will take co-op while they're still taking classes. As Robert, Sydney, and Elijah, I believe, are all taking co-op credit this semester. And I believe most of them are taking at least half of their credits in a co-op experience and so they're only taking 2 or 3 classes, and the rest of their credits they're getting are in co-op. We have a lot of students that are hospitality management students or sports management students, and they're more geared towards perhaps the golf industry. We were supposed to have it in a couple of weeks, but we're actually going to have it in a year and a couple of weeks, and that's the biggest golf tournament in the world that's held every 2 years, and it's in the U.S. every 4 years, and that's the Ryder Cup, and we're going to be hosting that here 5 miles directly east on Lake Michigan at the Whistling Straits golf facility, the Straits course. And so what that does is it provides a lot of students a lot of experience to really get their hands dirty with experiences and meet a lot of people across the golf industry, across the hospitality industry. And so we have a lot of students that are working full time between May middle of May and in the middle of October. Well, you go into the middle of October and you're kind of already halfway through the fall semester. So many of those students will take 7-week courses or the second half courses in their fall semester to make sure that they've got enough credits for the rest of that fall term. Many of our students are still taking credits in co-op and still participating in athletics. And so you don't need to be an athlete or a co-op student. You can be both. Robert's in esports, Elijah was in football, and Sydney still participates in and competes high level in women's volleyball. And so it's a great way for our students to earn, again, a really strong resume, build those skill sets, get those experiences that you need to verify what you want to be doing in your career, and be able to transition if you don't like exactly what that experience was. Does anyone, I know we've talked, around co-op and a little bit about co-op in each of our slides here, but does anybody on our panel have any questions or, have any further things to add about co-op?
Yeah, I do. I do the option where I can take a small percentage of my paychecks and then put it towards my tuition. So it's been helping a lot. Another thing, like I've had the job now with co-op for 3 years, and I've always liked being working on campus. It's never been too much for me as an athlete, and having academics first, always a priority. Lakeland faculty is so understanding too. I've always had to take a day off to go study for a test, and they've always let me. But yeah, never interferes with anything, and yeah, I get the experience I need. So
it's a great addition. I know we have a lot of students and a lot of area companies here that are that have a shortage of employees, and they need more employees, and so they have really competitive tuition benefits too. Some companies will pay, right off the bat, $2,000-$3,000 towards your tuition just for working there. Some you may have to work for 6 months there, but even at a part-time capacity, they're paying $5,000 or $6,000 of students' tuition dollars. So it's a great way to get a leg up in a company and really start making some great strides. So if you're interested in co-op, certainly you need to talk to us and start working with our career development and co-op office right away. Co-op also comes with some scholarship opportunities. The minimum amount of scholarships a student will earn for being a co-op student is $14,000 a year, which is a significant chunk off of tuition and fees. And then obviously we'll get into a little bit more, but how much of your tuition or additional costs can be covered through the wages you earn, and you can have those wages be taken right off your check if you want to. Just make sure you're budgeting correctly. A big part of co-op too is making sure that you're prepared to be leave here without tuition debt. You can go and buy a house perhaps sooner, or go lease a car, or go go on with your life and not be not have and be free of being indebted to anyone, an institution, a bank, what have you. We want students to go start their careers and not be strapped down by student debt. We want students to be, members and great citizens of their communities that they go off into, and being great advocates for Lakeland. So with that, I'd like to talk a little bit more about another big part of Lakeland, and that's Muskie athletics. So I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but our mascot is the Muskie. And the Muskie, obviously, for those that don't know, is a fearsome freshwater fish located mostly in the Midwest. And from that namesake, that's where our athletes represent as well. So we've got a couple of athletes or some students that have experience in athletics. We've got 18 NCAA Division III athletic programs, both men's and women's, and we have additional sports that aren't necessarily NCAA, but are varsity athletics, and that's newest one being esports, men's and women's bowling, as well as women's wrestling. You see we have a national champion already in our first 2 years of a women's wrestling program in Jaden Laurent. Many of our programs are highly competitive. We've got full-time coaches in all of our sports with assistant coaches and graduate assistants. So perhaps Sydney, you can kick us off and maybe go to Robert after that with and Elijah following up with perhaps some of their experiences competing as a Muskie, but also talking a little bit more about the experience of supporting other fellow Muskies in sports maybe you're not a part of, and that that atmosphere, because I think that's unique. You don't see that at a lot of Division III small private schools. Is the amount of support, attendance that you see at football games, basketball games, volleyball games, and hopefully after this pandemic, esports as well too.
Thank you. Well, like I said before, I'm part of the volleyball program. It was one of the reasons why I chose Lakeland, was to be a part of this program. I really like my coach and the coaching staff. One plus about being on an athletic team here, we have free equipment. We get to work out whenever. They schedule workouts for us. We have our own individual practice times. We have our own locker room. We get free gear. We have our own personal trainer and strength and conditioning coach. So whether if you want to work on something to get better, or if you're injured, like, we're always taken care of. Like I mentioned before, when I talked about academics and athletics, it never interferes either. Academics is always number one, so our coaches stress that to us. And yeah, sorry, Robert, if you want to continue on that.
Yeah, so like before, I did say I was part of the esports team. Specifically, I play League of Legends. So Coach Amon Green we just hired him last February. That's almost about 6 months ago, 7 months ago. But excited. I was excited about the program running up. We're part of NACE. I think NACE stands for, I forgot what it stands for, but yeah, we're part of NACE, and it's part of a collegiate level. It's kind of like the NCAA, but since esports isn't in the NCAA, we have to be part of a different conference than that. So no, but excited about it. I mean, we're starting competition literally in, I think, next week. So I'm excited about that. I know everybody in the esports facility is excited about it. I know head coach Amon Green is excited about that. So the amount of support that you have from your teammates, even if they play different sports or different games, I mean, I think it is cool to see people support each other throughout their time here at Lakeland. So
Yeah, I love the support system here at Lakeland. I know when I played football here, my freshman and sophomore year, in the little bit of my beginning of my junior year, after game or after practices, we would take our showers and go right to the volleyball games. Volleyball games were always packed with football players, and we'll have our own section of us cheering. And every time we got a score, you just hear the whole football team rallying on the sideline for no reason. And we'll go to soccer games and everything. So I loved how other sports came to support the other sports, just so you felt like a big crowd, and big crowds make you play even better than what you think you were playing. So and I'm excited. I know, like Robert said, esports starts soon. I'm ready to go support them guys. They've been working hard all summer, and I can't wait to see what this new season is coming about.
Excellent. So we've got just one last two last slides, and then so I just wanted to again wrap up by thanking everyone for participating tonight. Really appreciate your time. So a couple last minute things. Next steps and admissions and financial aid. If you liked what you heard in this presentation tonight, or when you take the time to view this presentation, please reach out. If you are currently a senior, you can apply for no fee at lakeland.edu/apply. Sending us your transcripts and then test scores as well. We may be a test optional school by the time you view this as well, if you're not viewing this live. So continue to talk with us about that and the application process. We're rolling admission schools, so we don't have necessarily the hard deadlines, but if you're watching this now or watching this in September, October, get admitted as soon as possible, because that gives you a lot more opportunities to earn some really competitive scholarships. with scholarships for every single one of our majors. We have scholarships tied to participation in music, whether it's band or choir or theater. We have scholarships tied to being a part of our All-Work Center, which is a religious studies center for students who are majoring or minoring in religion. There's a lot more scholarships that you can view by going to lakeland.edu/scholarships, and that's a great way to start looking at some scholarships to apply for as well. So you'll see here on the right hand side of the screen, or about in the center, these bar graphs. You'll see what our direct costs were this year, and where our average Lakeland student in the colored bar, what they receive in financial aid. You'll see that tuition fees are a little over $30,000. Scholarship grants from Lakeland and state and federal funding can come up to, on average, about almost $22,000. You compare that to state school prices for tuition, there's not much difference at all. Then the additional scholarships you may have earned in high school, perhaps family support, some federal loans, all of a sudden you're looking at the cost for room and board being able to be paid for by co-op and by your professional work experiences that we set you up with right away starting out as a freshman. We don't want cost to be a barrier for anybody, and with co-op and with our generous financial aid, we have become a very and have been for a very long time, but especially with co-op, a very accessible school for students, no matter what their financial background is. 100% of students receive Lakeland University grant or merit aid. So right off the bat, students are receiving scholarships and grants to make Lakeland more affordable. So with that, if you are interested in learning a little bit more, certainly contact us. We have a net price calculator online as well, which you can plug in some financial information from your tax forms to get a good idea, or at least an estimate of what your financial aid package could look like by attending Lakeland. So with that, we've got one last slide here. Again, thank you so much for spending the time with us tonight. We've got a few minutes, so if you guys are here and you do have a couple questions, please feel free to send those in the chat. We'd love for you to, if you like what you heard today, to visit campus. We love doing personalized visits, whether it's in person. We've got a safety protocol here with only having one family visiting at a time, and sanitizing in between, wearing masks, all those kinds of good things to keep this space safe. We also do personalized virtual visits as well. So we can bring in athletic coaches. We can be bringing in faculty members. We can be bringing in people from our co-op office or financial aid as well, if you want to have those conversations more in depth with those folks. And you can set that up by contacting us, admissions@lakeland.edu, and we'll get you with the right financial aid, or admissions counselor. Again, so those are the names of everyone that was able to talk to you tonight. Thank you very much for spending your time with us. We've got only a couple minutes here, so I don't know if Sydney, Robert, Elijah, do you have any last minute things that if students leave with one takeaway tonight, what would it be in a couple words?
It's worth the cornfield, maybe. I don't know, something like that. It's worth it. Everything is worth it here. So yeah.
Yeah, don't miss out on the opportunity. I mean, it's a great co-op. The co-op program is great. I mean, don't miss out.
I guess I'll say don't be afraid to change your environment. When you come out here, you're definitely going to pick up new habits and new traits and different types of things that you never thought you would do, seeming that you're in the middle of nowhere. But don't let that change scare you, and don't let it affect what school you pick.
Great. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. I hope you have a great rest of your evening and a great start to your school semesters here. With that, again, my name is Sam, Lakeland University. Please give us a call, contact us, and hope to be in touch soon. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, as we are leaving here today, just as a reminder that there will be a quick survey popping up at the end, and you can always sign up for more sessions at wacac.com. So thank you everyone for being here today, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you so much. Yeah, great evening too.